Or this time at the Quick Speed Shop, this is 4 years in the making. This is a real-world comparison test between a truck that was sprayed for the past 4 years with fluid film and an identical truck in an identical environment that wasn't sprayed. We're going to see the stark difference between spraying a truck from brand new with fluid film versus a truck that wasn't sprayed. And we're going to do all that right now. I'm a professional, don't try this at home. So what I have here is a 2016 Chevy Silverado 1500. It's a V6 truck, work truck package. This truck was purchased brand new at my work in March of 2016. It is now March of 2020. I personally sprayed fluid film on this truck every fall for the last 4 years. We're going to check that out right now. And then there's an identical truck that was purchased the exact same time this truck was purchased that did not have fluid film applied to it at all. And we're going to see the differences between those two. And if you need to know what fluid film is, I'm going to cut away to my garage for a second. I'm going to explain it, then we're going to come right back and do this comparison test. Alright, here we are at the Quick Speed Shop. Let me give you a real quick rundown of what we got here. I've got fluid film and I've got woolwax. And these are both lanolin based products. Lanolin is the waterproofing that's in sheep wool. So they refine the sheep wool and get this lanolin product out here. Now fluid film I think is one of the original ones. And it comes in clear, and their clear color looks like that, but when it dries clear. It's like real light butterscotchy color. And then the woolwax, which used to be distributor for fluid film, they've gone out on their own. They've got this product, woolwax, and they have it in clear, but they also have it in black. So I got this, and I use this on my chassis components, leaf springs, rear ends, wheel wells that I want to black out and have a black finish. You can see it got on my finger there. But it's really cool. Both products also come in aerosol cans if you want to do some small stuff with aerosol cans. These are both made in the USA. I think this is based out of Massachusetts. This is based out of California. So I can't recommend these products enough for anybody that's got a vehicle in a harsh condition with road salt or excessive moisture you want to keep things off of. You can put it on anything. It works great. And I've done a couple of videos. Actually, I did a fluid film video. And I also did the woolwax video. I'll put links up here above. You can click on those. But excellent products. I can't recommend them enough. It takes about 3/4 of a gallon to liberally coat a full-size vehicle. But it's well worth it. I put it on everything I have now, and I've had nothing good things to say about it. So let's go back out to the site, and we'll check out these trucks. Now just lay all the cards on the table. If you read the description, I'll break both trucks down. But this truck has just under 10,000 miles on it. It's parked outside, driven outside. It's driven on a lot of rock salt all through the winter. What we use to treat the roads here. It stays in an environment where it stays on the same roads, so the environment is controlled there. The control truck is also driven in the exact same environment, the same roads. Also sits outside. The only thing I've done to this truck is sprayed it once in the fall every year the last 4 years of fluid film, and I wash it with soap and water when it gets dirty. I just hose off the underside of the truck with a garden hose and soap and water on the outside of the body. The other truck gets washed the same way, and they both sit outside in the most identical environment. They're parked within a 1/4 mile of each other, both outside buildings, outside all the time. So they're driven on the exact same roads, the entire same area they've traveled. This truck, like I said, has just under 10,000 miles on it. The control truck gets used for a little bit different purpose, so it has some more miles on it. A lot of them are summertime miles, more than wintertime miles, but it does have almost 30,000 miles on it. So a few more thousand miles in this truck, but both, for being 4 years old, are both, not one isn't excessively driven over the other one. This one's driven less, but they're both within acceptable range, I think, of each other. I'm more concerned about the environment and the road salt, and they're both in the exact same contained area, so that's what I'm focusing on with this comparison test. Let's go ahead and get a look at the front suspension here. You can see there's a good coating buildup here. There's absolutely zero rust on the frame rails. The only minor surface rust is way out here where I didn't spray it on the tie rod ends because I wanted to stay away from the brake components. I've done the backing plates here. There's very little rust, so just a little bit of rust just started on the very edge of the shock absorber, but the thing is pretty pristine. You can see the spring towers and all that. Absolutely zero rust. Gets even better up here when you see under the bumper. The undercarriage is really remarkable. Absolutely zero rust anywhere on the underside of this. You notice around the holes there's no rust creeping out. I spray inside the frame. Absolutely zero rust anywhere on this chassis. I have painted the black. I blacked out the wheel wells with some rubberized undercoating the first year I had the truck, and I put the fluid film over the rubberized undercoating just to black out the wheel wells. But no undercoating was applied to the frame. This is all fluid film on here. And if I take my finger and I wipe through the material, you'll see the original paint, bare metal on the frame is still under the material. The fluid film builds up this film of dirt and grime on here, but there's absolutely no rust. There's no rust creeping here. There's no rust coming out of the box side. If you look at the underside of the rear end, absolutely zero rust on the rear end housing. Spare tire has zero rust on it. You'll see here, fluid film can be sprayed on all the electrical components. This frame has all the original black factory coating still left on it here. You can see the drips. Everything is completely coated in fluid film and built up to a nice level. See here the trailer hitch, the inside of the frame, completely rust free. You will notice the floor of the bed, I did spray black undercoating on it just to black it out the first year I had the truck. So that's original black undercoating with 3 years of fluid film on top of it, which the other truck doesn't have, but that's just on the flat panels. But no undercoating was put on the frame. The frame is all original GM black coating with fluid film applied on top of it. The wheel wells on this side. Spring shackles have absolutely zero rust on them. Everything's coated with a layer of fluid film on there. Under the hood I've sprayed the fenders and the brackets, the battery tray. Absolutely zero rust on any of the brake lines or the fittings or the components. Sprayed the underside of the hood. You can see the fluid film here. Sprayed inside the hood, the firewall. So we got two identical trucks. This is our control truck here, and then we got my truck, which has had fluid film applied for the last 4 years. So let's take a closer look. You can see on the chassis in the back, you've got rust, significant rust started around the holes and the seams, and around here, around the big pipes. Sorry, it's getting a little windy out here. We also got some rust started here in the wheel wells. A little bit around the seams maybe. Look at the rear end. Definitely can tell there's rust on the rear axle. Rust on the spare tire. Significant rust started on all the spring shackles and the frames around all the edges as the black factory coating wears away. Spring hanger over there, you can see there's significant rust started on it there. Here in the front wheel well, you can see there's rust also on the chassis here. Rust on all the knuckles and all that here. Down the frame rail, factory coating is right off the frame rail. Significant rust started on the frame now. Got rust bleeding out of the seams of the rocker panels. Some dirt and rust started on the floor here. I'm sure the cross members inside there are going to start seeing some rust on them. Sorry about the glare. I'm out in the sun here. But significant rust on the chassis of this truck started already. Under the hood here, not looking too bad, but I'm gonna guess that you can see the steering shaft. This truck's new enough. Hasn't really started rusting under the hood yet. But you can see how it's uncoated. All the surfaces are uncoated under here. So I hope this was helpful. I haven't seen any real world comparisons of two identical vehicles in two identical climates, one sprayed with fluid film or wool wax and one without. So I hope this helps people out see that there is value to this stuff, to lanolin, whether you buy fluid film, whether you buy wool wax. The lanolin rust prevention works. You've seen this truck has zero rust on it anywhere. The only difference between this truck and the other truck was this truck was treated, like I said, once a year for the last 4 years, and the other truck had absolutely no rust proofing, coating, lanolin, anything put on it. And you can see the extreme amount of rust that's already started on the frame and is eventually going to destroy that truck, where this truck will be able to last for years into the future. That being said, this is the closest test I could do. Now this truck does have a few less miles on it than the other truck, like I said, but they're identical trucks, purchased at identical time, run in an identical environment, stored outside, just a little bit more mileage on the other one. Now this truck does also have that black undercoating that was on the bottom of the box and on the bottom of the rocker panels. That was purely the black the bottom of the truck out when I got it, before I started putting fluid film on it. Rubberized undercoating and like Z-Bar and all that, anything that puts rubber on the bottom of a vehicle actually is a detriment if you think about it, because you're coating over all those seams of stacked up metal with rubber and you're keeping stuff off the bottom, but all the water and salt that gets up on top of the metal and gets down to those seams now is trapped in there and can't get out. So it's actually a detriment to this truck to have the undercoating on it this time, and I wish I hadn't put it on there. What I do now on vehicles, and I do them at my house, or I do them for people that hire me to do it, is I use the wool wax black, and I use that to black out the wheel wells and the leaf springs and all that for that nice black satin look underneath. And then I use the clear fluid film to do inside the doors and the rocker panels and all those parts where you don't want to have a black surface on the outside. So now I don't use any rubberized undercoating at all. On this truck it was purely for cosmetic reasons, and that's the only reason it's on here. But this has 4 years of fluid film on top of it. Fluid film actually will loosen up rubberized undercoating, so it becomes all part of the greasy, slimy mix that goes on there, so it doesn't even stay dry like you would apply it out of the aerosol can. So it's more just to black out the white wheel wells, and the black underside, or the white underside of the truck is pretty much all it's doing now. But I wanted to clarify that if anybody had any questions like why is there black undercoating underneath the box, and is that the reason it didn't rust and the other one didn't? And no, it's not. The fluid film, the lanolin, the wool wax, both products, that's what protects these vehicles from rusting. It's not the rubberized undercoating. The rubberized undercoating is actually a detriment, and I wouldn't suggest using it anymore, and I've stopped using it on any of my vehicles. So I hope this helps people out. I hope this is a real world example where you can see two identical vehicles and see one with and one without. It's the best test I can do. It's a 4-year long test. These trucks are 4 years old, and then the difference is remarkable. So thanks everybody for watching, and go out and support your local lanolin guy. Buy fluid film, buy wool wax, and check the description. I put a description of both these trucks, the specs for them both in the bottom, and then the products they bought and used on these on this truck here. So that's about it. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm putting out new videos every Wednesday and Saturday. Hit the bell for your alerts, tell your friends, and I'll see you right back here. Well, actually not here, but right back at the Quick Speed Shop, where I build hot rods, spray fluid film, spray wool wax, build cool stuff, go to junkyards, whatever else is going on at the Quick Speed Shop.